Is your JavaScript code a ticking time bomb for hackers? Most developers overlook critical security flaws until it's too late. In this video, we will cover JavaScript Security Certification Practice Questions, Comprehensive Exam Prep. Prepare for your JavaScript Security Certification with these 30 realistic practice questions. Today, we are diving deep into 30 high-yield practice questions designed to help you master JavaScript Security and ace your certification exam. We will cover everything from XSS prevention to secure API integration. Before we begin, make sure to grab a pen and paper to track your score. Which type of XSS occurs when the payload is executed in the browser as a result of modifying the DOM environment, rather than being part of the HTTP response? Option A, Reflected XSS. Option B, Stored XSS. Option C, DOM-based XSS. Option D, Blind XSS. The correct answer is C. DOM-based XSS is unique because the entire vulnerability exists in the client-side code. The server is often not even aware of the payload because it might be contained in the URL fragment after the hash, which isn't sent to the server. The execution happens when the application's JavaScript reads data from a source, like location, hash, and passes it to a sink, like inner HTML, without proper validation or escaping. What is the primary benefit of using the same site equals strict attribute on a session cookie? Option A. It prevents the cookie from being sent via JavaScript document cookie. Option B. It prevents the cookie from being sent on any cross-site request. Option C. It ensures the cookie is only sent over HTTPS connections. Option D. It automatically encrypts the cookie data. The correct answer is B. The same site equals strict attribute is a powerful defense against CSRF. When set, the browser will not send the cookie with any request initiated by a third-party website. This means if a user clicks a link on an external site leading to your site, the session cookie will not be sent, effectively preventing unauthorized state-changing actions. Same site equals lax is a more permissive alternative that allows cookies on top-level navigations. Which CSP directive should be used to restrict the locations from which scripts can be loaded and executed? Option A, Style SRC. Option B, IMG SRC. Option C, Script SRC. Option D, Connect SRC. The correct answer is C. The Script SRC directive is the most critical part of a CSP for preventing XSS. It specifies the valid sources for JavaScript. By setting this, you can prevent the browser from loading scripts from unauthorized domains or executing inline scripts. A secure policy often uses self to only allow scripts from the same origin, or uses nonces hashes to allow specific approved inline scripts. When storing sensitive user data in local storage, which of the following is true? Option A. Local storage is inherently secure and encrypted by the browser. Option B. Data in local storage is inaccessible to JavaScript. Option C. Local storage is vulnerable to XSS. Sensitive data should be avoided or encrypted. Option D. Local storage data expires when the browser session ends. The correct answer is C. Local storage is a persistent key-value store that is accessible to any JavaScript running on the same origin. If an attacker successfully executes an XSS attack, they can easily read everything in local storage using JSON, stringify, local storage, single quote. Therefore, you should never store sensitive data like JWTs, session IDs, or PE in local storage. Use HTTP-only cookies instead for sensitive identifiers. Why is it recommended to use the HTTP-only flag for session cookies? Option A. To prevent the cookie from being sent over insecure HTTP. Option B. To prevent client-side scripts from accessing the cookie. Option C. To ensure the cookie is only valid for the current session. Option D. To allow the cookie to be shared across multiple subdomains. The correct answer is B. The HTTP-only flag is a security measure that instructs the browser to block any client-side script, like JavaScript, from accessing the cookie via document cookie. This is a vital defense in-depth strategy. Even if an attacker finds an XSS vulnerability, they cannot steal the user's session cookie, making session hijacking significantly more difficult. Which tool is commonly used in the Node.js ecosystem to identify known vulnerabilities in project dependencies? Option A, npm start. Option B, npm audit. Option C, npm build. Option D, npm publish. The correct answer is B. npm audit is a built-in tool that checks your project's package lock, JSON, or shrinkwrap, JSON, against the GitHub advisory database for known vulnerabilities. It provides a report of the risks and, in many cases, can automatically fix them by updating the affected packages to a secure version via npm audit fix. This is essential for modern JavaScript development where applications rely on hundreds of third-party libraries. An attacker intercepts a JWT and notices the alg header is set to none. What security risk does this pose? Option A. The token is now encrypted and cannot be read. Option B. The token's signature can be stripped, allowing the attacker to modify the payload. Option C. The token will automatically expire immediately. Option D. The token can only be used on localhost. The correct answer is B. The none algorithm vulnerability is a classic JWT flaw. If the server-side validation logic accepts tokens with alg none, an attacker can simply modify the user ID or roles in the payload, remove the signature entirely, and the server will treat the token as valid. Modern JWT libraries should be configured to explicitly disallow the none algorithm and require a strong signing algorithm like 256 rupees or hydrogen sulfide. What does the secure flag on a cookie do? Option A. It encrypts the content of the cookie. Option B. It ensures the cookie is only sent over HTTPS. Option C. It prevents the cookie from being modified by the user. Option D. It hides the cookie from the browser's developer tools. The correct answer is B. The secure flag ensures that the cookie is only transmitted over encrypted HTTPS connections. If a user attempts to visit the site over plain HTTP, the browser will refuse to send the cookie. This prevents man-in-the-middle (MITM) attackers from sniffing sensitive session cookies on public or unencrypted networks. What happens if a server responds with access control allow origin * for a request that includes credentials? Option A. The browser will allow the request and share the response. Option B. The browser will block the response because a wildcard cannot be used with credentials. Option C. The server will automatically encrypt the response. Option D. The browser will ignore the credentials and treat it as an anonymous request. The correct answer is B. Security specifications strictly forbid the combination of access control allow origin * wildcard and access control allow credentials. True. If both are present, the browser will block the request for security reasons. To allow credentials, the server must specify an explicit single origin, e.g., https://example.com, in the allow origin header. Which HTTP header prevents a website from being embedded in an iframe on another domain? Protecting against clickjacking? Option A. X content type options. Option B. X frame options. Option C. Strict transport security. Option D. Content type. The correct answer is B. The X frame options header, or the frame ancestors directive in CSP, is used to indicate whether a browser should be allowed to render a page in a less than frame greater than, less than iframe greater than, or less than object greater than. Setting it to deny or SAMEORIGIN prevents attackers from overlaying your site on their own to trick users into clicking buttons. Clickjacking. Why is client-side validation alone insufficient for security? Option A. It is too slow for modern browsers. Option B. It can be easily bypassed by disabling JavaScript or using tools like Burp Suite. Option C. It only works in Chrome and Firefox. Option D. It increases the server load significantly. The correct answer is B. Client-side validation is excellent for user experience, giving immediate feedback, but it provides zero security. An attacker can easily bypass browser-based checks by using proxy tools, command line tools like curl, or simply disabling JavaScript in their browser. Security validation must always be performed on the server side where the developer has total control. Which of the following JavaScript syncs is considered safe from XSS when assigning user-controlled input? Option A. Element, inner HTML. Option B. Element, text content. Option C. Document, write. Option D. Eval. The correct answer is B. Text content is considered safe because it treats all input as literal text, not HTML. If you assign less than imgsrc equals x onerror equals alert 1 greater than to text content, it will simply display that string as text on the screen. In contrast, inner HTML would parse that string as HTML and execute the malicious script. Always prefer text content or inner text when you don't intend to render HTML. What is the risk of using eval in a Node.js application with user-supplied input? Option A. It causes memory leaks. Option B. It leads to remote code execution. RCE. Option C. It slows down the event loop. Option D. It prevents the application from scaling. The correct answer is B. Eval. executes a string as JavaScript code. If an attacker can influence the string passed to a val single quote, they can execute arbitrary system commands on the server. RCE. For example, they could use Node's child_process module to delete files or steal environment variables. You should almost never use a val or new function with untrusted data. What does HSTS, HTTP Strict Transport Security, protect against? Option A. XSS attacks. Option B. SQL injection. Option C. SSL/TLS stripping attacks. Option D. Brute force attacks. The correct answer is C. HSTS is a web security policy mechanism that helps to protect websites against protocol downgrade attacks, SSL stripping, and cookie hijacking. It allows web servers to declare that web browsers should only interact with it using secure HTTPS connections, never via the insecure HTTP protocol. Which file should be used to prevent search engines from indexing sensitive directories? Though it's not a security tool? Option A, .env. Option B, robots.txt. Option C, package, JSON. Option D, yidignore. The correct answer is B. The robots.txt file tells search engine crawlers which pages or files the crawler can or can't request from your site, while it prevents content from appearing in search results. It is not a security mechanism because anyone can read the file and see which hidden directories you are trying to hide. Sensitive directories should be protected with authentication. What is session fixation? Option A. When a user cannot log out of a session. Option B. When an attacker provides a known session ID to a user and waits for them to log in. Option C. When a session lasts for too long without expiring. Option D. When multiple users share the same session ID by accident. The correct answer is B. In a session fixation attack, the attacker obtains a valid session ID, e.g., by visiting the site, and Kemudian induces the victim to use that same session ID, often via a URL parameter. If the application doesn't regenerate the session ID upon login, the attacker can use the fixed ID to hijack the victim's authenticated session. When using !JSON, parse what is the primary security concern? Option A. It can execute embedded scripts. Option B. It is slower than a val. Option C. It can be used for prototype pollution if the object is merged improperly. Option D. It doesn't support big integers. The correct answer is C. While !JSON, parse, itself is safe, unlike a val, the objects it creates can be used in prototype pollution attacks. If the parsed object is recursively merged into another object without checking for keys like __prota__ or constructor an attacker can modify the base object prototype, affecting the behavior of the entire application. What does the unsafe inline keyword in a CSP directive do? Option A. It disables the CSP entirely. Option B. It allows the use of inline resources like less than script greater than blocks and onclick handlers. Option C. It only allows inline styles but not inline scripts. Option D. It allows scripts to be loaded from any domain. The correct answer is B. Unsafe inline allows the browser to execute inline scripts or styles. While it might be necessary for older applications, it significantly weakens a CSP because it allows an attacker who finds an XSS vulnerability to execute their own scripts directly within the page. Using nonces or hashes is the secure alternative. Which of these is the best approach for preventing XSS in a modern web application? Option A. Blacklisting script tags. Option B. Using a well-vetted library like DOM Purify to sanitize HTML. Option C. Replacing all angle brackets with spaces. Option D. Removing all on event handlers manually using regex. The correct answer is B. Sanitizing HTML is complex because there are many ways to hide malicious scripts. DOM Purify is an industry-standard library that uses a whitelist approach to strip out dangerous tags and attributes while keeping safe HTML. Blacklisting and regex approaches are notoriously easy to bypass with obfuscation. What is the purpose of the integrity attribute in a less than script greater than tag? Option A. To compress the script for faster loading. Option B. To ensure the script hasn't been tampered with. Subresource integrity. Option C. To allow the script to access cross-origin data. Option D. To tell the browser the script is safe to run. The correct answer is B. Subresource integrity. SRI allows browsers to verify that resources they fetch, for example, from a CDN, are delivered without unexpected manipulation. It uses a cryptographic hash. If the hash of the downloaded file doesn't match the hash in the integrity attribute, the browser refuses to execute the script. Which HTTP method is most susceptible to CSRF if not protected? Because it is designed to change state? Option A, GET. Option B, POST. Option C, options. Option D, head. The correct answer is B. POST, put, and delete methods are intended for state-changing operations. CSRF attacks usually target POST requests because they are used to submit forms, update profiles, or make purchases. GET requests should be idempotent, not change state, though if a developer incorrectly uses GET for state changes, it becomes even easier to exploit via simple less than img greater than tags. Where should you store a secret API key in a front-end React application? Option A. In a .env file prefixing with React_app_. Option B. Hard-coded in the source code. Option C. In the Redux store. Option D. Secrets should never be stored on the front end. Use a backend proxy. The correct answer is D. Anything stored in a front-end application, including .env variables used during build time, is eventually bundled into the plain JavaScript sent to the user's browser. An attacker can easily find these keys. Sensitive API keys should stay on the server, and the front end should call its own backend, which then makes the authorized request to the third-party API. What is DAST, Dynamic Application Security Testing? Option A. Testing the code while it is at rest. Source code analysis. Option B. Testing the application while it is running by simulating attacks. Option C. Checking for vulnerabilities in third-party libraries. Option D. Checking the developer's computer for viruses. The correct answer is B. JavaScript tools interact with a running application to find security vulnerabilities. They don't have access to the source code. Instead, they behave like an attacker, trying to inject payloads into forms and headers to see if the application responds in an insecure way. This complements SAST, static, which looks at the code itself. What is JIT spraying in the context of JavaScript security? Option A. A technique to optimize code performance. Option B. An exploit technique that uses just-in-time compilation to bypass memory protections. Option C. A way to spread malware via script tags. Option D. A method for clearing the browser cache. The correct answer is B. JIT spraying is a sophisticated exploit technique where an attacker writes specific JavaScript code that, when compiled by the browser's JIT engine, produces predictable executable machine code in memory. This is used to bypass security mitigations like DEP, data execution prevention, and ASLR, address space layout randomization. What is the benefit of the X content type options, no sniff, header? Option A. It prevents the browser from trying to guess the MIME type of a file. Option B. It prevents the user from downloading images. Option C. It speeds up the loading of CSS files. Option D. It prevents the site from being cached. The correct answer is A. MIME sniffing is a feature where browsers try to determine the file type by looking at its content. Attackers can exploit this by uploading a malicious script disguised as an image. If the browser sniffs it as a script, it might execute it. No sniff forces the browser to respect the content type header sent by the server, preventing this type of bypass. When using the Web Crypto API, why is window crypto get random values preferred over math random for security purposes? Option A. It is faster than math random. Option B. It is cryptographically strong and unpredictable. Option C. It works in older versions of Internet Explorer. Option D. It returns a string instead of a number. The correct answer is B. Math random is a PRNG, pseudo-random number generator, that is not cryptographically secure, meaning its sequence can be predicted if an attacker knows the seed or enough previous values. Get random values uses a CSPRNG, cryptographically secure PRNG, which is essential for generating keys, salts, or tokens. Which CSP directive can be used to monitor policy violations without actually blocking any resources? Option A. Content Security Policy Report only. Option B. Content Security Policy Debug. Option C. Content Security Policy Check. Option D. Content Security Policy Read only. The correct answer is A. The Content Security Policy Report only header allows developers to experiment with a policy by monitoring and reporting its effects but not enforcing it. This is crucial for deploying CSP on existing large sites to ensure that legitimate scripts aren't accidentally blocked before turning on the full enforcement policy. How can you prevent prototype pollution when merging two objects in JavaScript? Option A. Use the concat method. Option B. Check for the presence of __proto___ and constructor keys before merging. Option C. Only merge objects that have less than 5 properties. Option D. Convert both objects to strings first. The correct answer is B. To prevent prototype pollution, you must ensure that user-supplied keys cannot modify the object, prototype . This is done by sanitizing keys during a merge or assignment operation, specifically blocking the __proto___ and constructor keys. Alternatively, using object create null for objects that will store untrusted keys ensures they don't have a prototype to pollute. What is the security risk of having a very long session timeout? Option A. It increases the database size. Option B. It increases the window of opportunity for an attacker to use a stolen session token. Option C. It makes the website load slower for the user. Option D. It prevents the user from logging in on other devices. The correct answer is B. Session duration is a trade-off between convenience and security. Long-lived sessions are risky because if a device is stolen or a session ID is intercepted, the attacker has a long time to act. Best practices suggest short session lifetimes with refresh tokens or re-authentication for sensitive actions. Which CSS property can be used as a client-side defense, though less reliable than headers, to prevent a page from being interacted with if it's transparent? Option A. Display, none. Option B. Pointer events, none. Option C. Opacity, 0. Option D. Z-index, -1. The correct answer is B. Pointer events. None makes an element transparent to click events, meaning clicks pass through to whatever is underneath. While it can be used in some defensive UI patterns, it is not a primary security control. The server-side X-frame options or CSP frame ancestors are the correct ways to prevent clickjacking. That concludes our 30-question practice run for the JavaScript Security certification. How did you do? If you missed more than 5, I recommend going back and reviewing the detailed explanations. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into web security. For the full-length practice exam with hundreds of additional questions, check the link in the description below.